Quick little video here. Today I went to fire up my mower and it didn't want to crank up this morning, and I got it to crank up and pulled it up on my trailer, went and cut some grass, and it wouldn't crank up at the dude's house. And after some cranking, it finally cranked up. Anyway, long story short, on these Briggs & Stratton Intech engines, they've got a fuel shutoff valve right here on the carb. And what it does is when you turn the key on, it supplies power and that valve opens. And when you shut the key off, that valve's supposed to close and not allow fuel from the tank to go into your carb. Well, this valve is dead. It died in the open position and it flooded my carb. And the reason I knew something was wrong is because I came over here after it inherently wouldn't start, and it had 13 volts, almost 12.7 volts at the battery. I knew my battery was not the issue. And you go to crank it over and it like try to spin and then it would stop. It just didn't have any power to turn it. And that's either one of two things: you either got a dead battery or your cylinder is full of gas. And after I tested the battery and knew that I had 12.7 volts, I knew that my cylinder was full of gas, and I knew exactly what had happened. And I came down here and my breather hose coming off the crankcase had popped off because of all the pressure, and there was gas leaking out of the carb and that breather hose. And obviously you can see all this gas laying down here where it sprayed out and leaked out. And that tank was full this morning. It holds about 1.5 gallons, and that's probably about, I don't know, not even 1/4 gallon now. And I didn't even cut a big yard, so I know something was wrong there. Anyway, all you need to do is, if that happens, if you're having that issue, you need to pull your plug out. First of all, you need to check your oil and make sure you ain't got gas in it. Luckily, it might have got a little bit in there, but it didn't really get that much in there. I'm not concerned with it. But you need to pull your plug out and you need to spin the engine over and spray all that gas over. And what happened is, when I took that plug out and I spun it over, a bunch of gas sprayed out all up in here. It's gone now. It evaporated. It spread all over the muffler. A ton of gas came out. Put the plug back in there, cranked it up, it started right up just like it's supposed to. But that's a pretty common issue. That valve was actually bad on this previous engine. I just swapped this one in about, I don't know, 6 months ago. And the valve on the old carburetor had done the same thing. And it actually, that's what caused it to fail, I believe, because it locked up. When I bought it, it was already blown up. But that is a massive failure of a design. And all you need to do to fix that is you could either put a plug in there. This one died in the open position, so it's fine the way it is. I'm just going to leave it alone. Get you a little manual valve from the parts house. I got it at Tractor Supply. It was relatively cheap. Fuel filter, obviously, and then put you a manual shutoff valve. And whenever you're done running that lawnmower, because this is a gravity-fed fuel system on this one, it's not a fuel pump, then the gas will continue to just flow to your carb, so you need to shut it off somehow. That's relatively simple. You just splice it in there, turn it on when you're ready to run it, shut it off when you're done. And I had about a 20-minute drive home, and that was long enough to drain from probably about here on the gas tank down to there. And it's all over my trailer now and my mower. So hopefully that saves you a little time and headache. That's one of the major flaws of that carburetor design with that fuel shutoff valve. They go bad all the time, and sometimes it can cause you a massive failure, like your engine blowing up from hydrolocking. So just keep that in mind. If yours has not gone bad yet, I would suggest just buying that little shutoff valve. It's very cheap. It's less than $5, and that's good insurance. Anyway, hope y'all have a good one.